Are you not making sales like you want to? Is it feast or famine or just a random sprinkling here or there? That's what I'm going to help you with tonight. Help you identify why you're not making sales, or at least not making the amount of sales that you actually want to and that you're seeking to make in your business. Because we can really boil this down to really three things. As long as you are really good at what you do, as long as you can actually get people good results. So I'm assuming that you're good at whatever you do in coaching, but the challenge that most people run into is the fact that they're just not making sales, or it's onesie twosie here or there, and it's nothing consistent that allows them to actually grow and build something that they and their family can rely on, and create the type of impact that they're looking to make. So as you jump on, say hi. I am on all the platforms tonight, in our Facebook group, on LinkedIn, YouTube, a bunch of different places. So comment, let me know you hear me. Let me know you're here, and where you're watching from tonight. And we're going to dive on in. And as always, I got some good stuff. So we tonight have our very first, um, training session for our 4-week vertical video boot camp. If you want to check this out, we kick off at 7 p.m. tonight. There will be replays in case you can't make it live. But if you want to actually jumpstart all of your content, really get good, start creating some momentum, get things moving, then you're going to want to join us tonight. Just comment TikTok and I will give you the link to that. And if at any time you realize you're going to need some bigger help than just some free training on all this stuff, and you're sick and tired of just struggling and trying to figure it out on your own, just simply comment info in the chat. We will talk and we'll see how we can help you out. Okay. So let's dive in. Feast or famine, a trickle of sales. You're just not making sales like you wish you could, or that you can potentially in your heart, and make the kind of impact that you're looking to make. The very, very, very first thing we need to look at is your messaging. While what you do may be incredibly valuable, if you can't succinctly say that to somebody and they understand the value and they're willing to pay for that value, they're not going to buy. None of the cool, fancy automations and stuff that we can do will fix that. People need to understand the value and be willing to purchase. So there's a lot that goes into the positioning of the offer itself. And that's one of the very first questions when I'm talking to someone is I need to understand their messaging. What are they putting out there? And we're looking at how well it's received. Bertilla, hello. Moved from Maryland to Louisiana. Ooh, that sounds fun. I have one of my besties is from, I think, Lafayette, Louisiana. She doesn't live there anymore, but I know that's her hometown. So welcome. Good to see you again. So what is the messaging? Who is it you help? How do you help them? And what is the specific valuable transformation that they're looking for and willing to pay for? So this is a challenge. This is really the first challenge for any type of offer and putting it out on the marketplace, is making sure that your messaging is going to hit home. We spend a lot of time with our clients initially on this because it has to be on point. This is not something you can just wishy-washy and think you can move on from there. And if the sales that you are currently making are coming from your warm network or from networking, that doesn't mean your messaging is good, because your relationships are making the sales, not your messaging. When we look to create consistent revenue, repeatable income, repeatable sales over and over again, your messaging has to be able to do the sales, not your relationships. So we need to take a really good look at this. Who very specifically do you help? What is the very specific, as tangible as possible result, transformation that people are looking to receive? So if you say I help people get confidence, you're almost there. Go to the next level. Why do they want confidence? So they can get a date, so they can speak on stage, so that they can show up in their business and do the kind of content they need to do to grow it. Like, why do they want that confidence? Because that's the transformation. Confidence is the way they're going to get that transformation. So don't sell confidence. You're going to sell that transformation. That's the value that they want and that they're actually willing to pay for. So we need to look at what your offer is and make sure that this is positioned beautifully to show the powerful transformation, how it's going to transform their lives, their businesses, their relationships, whatever that is. Show the value of it, that they understand the value, they're willing to pay for it. All of that must be awesome. It must work for people to move forward with you. If you have a lot of conversations with folks and nobody's committing, right? This is a big red flag. If you talk to a lot of people and everybody's like, oh, that's interesting, I like it, but let me think about it, or maybe later, or anything like that, we need to take a look at your messaging. That may be a warning that your messaging isn't strong enough that people feel ready to pay for it, right? They just kind of make excuses instead. So messaging is really important. If you are connecting with a lot of leads or connecting with a lot of people who are broke, that's also a messaging problem, right? It might be part of the lead gen situation as well, but we definitely want to look at the messaging and make sure that you're speaking to someone who can afford your services. If you are not, that is not a good thing. That means you're not going to be able to grow this. So you have to make sure that you're speaking to the right people, the people who can actually afford it, who have the expendable income to spend on what you have to offer. So you definitely want to do that. Now, the second element that we need, that you need to have in place, is your systems to sell. There are a lot of people who are out there just hustling. They're messaging with people on Facebook. They're trying to stir up people from Facebook groups, and they're just like sending DMs and trying to get people directly on a sales call from a DM. That's a hard road to hoe. That's not an easy feat. It takes a ton of touch points before someone is able to make a purchasing decision. Like the standard number, they say 7 to 12. I've heard more recently that number has gone up significantly in today's marketplace. The buyers today are more sophisticated than they once were. They need to be warmed up. Do you know how many DMs that would be per person? That's a lot of DMs. And imagine because you got to keep that pipeline going. So how many DMs do you have to send a day to try to keep someone warmed up until if and when they ever might be ready for your thing? You need to systematize that. You need a system and a process. Yes, keep going. Absolutely. You need to get that system dialed in, because you should be able to generate a lead, and then your system is kicking in and they're being nurtured and qualified and moved through to a sale. So email follow-up sequence. What does that mean? If you've never heard that term before, that means once someone joins your email list, they're getting a series of emails, daily or every few days or whatever that looks like, so they get to know you, they get to understand how you could help them, and they get nurtured and qualified and move towards a purchasing decision, invited to a sales call or invited to a sales webinar. So email nurture sequence is one way to do this. Automated texting or manual texting even is a way to do this. Dialing, calling your leads is a way to do this. Your Facebook group or your content, wherever you're going, you're being present and you're showing up and you're giving good value. Use that. Like that should be layered into your funnel process, layered into where your leads are steered after they're generated, so that they're nurtured and qualified and move through to a conversation about purchasing. So you need all of your sales systems in place. If you're manually doing stuff, I can guarantee people are going to be falling through the cracks, because you just can't keep up with that many people in the long term. You need a system to generate the lead, nurture, qualify, move them through to a sale. If you don't have a sales system, creating consistent revenue is nigh impossible. It is very difficult to do. You need a system where you can measure and hey, if I generate X amount of leads, so many of those leads are going to book a sales call. Out of the sales calls, I know, here's the percentage that are actually going to close into purchasing. That's the kind of data that enables you to actually grow a sustainable long-term business. You can't do that DMing people in Messenger. You don't have any of that data. That's rough. Okay, so take the time to set that stuff up. If you don't know how to set that stuff up, Guess what? That's our jam. That's what we do here at Digital Trailblazer. So we can totally help you with that. Just type in info in the chat. We'll see how we can help you out. Now, if you've got your messaging dialed in, if you have amazing system to qualify, nurture, and move them through to a sale, fabulous. If you don't have this third element, you're still not making sales. It's traffic. If you don't have people seeing this stuff, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you've got a great message. It doesn't matter you've got a great program. It doesn't matter that you've got this amazing, beautiful automated sales system. None of that stuff matters if nobody sees it. You absolutely have to keep the pipeline full. Now, you can do this in a lot of ways. I think it was last week's training that I did in the Facebook group was teaching different lead generation strategies. You can head back there and find it. But you need to keep that pipeline full. Now, there's organic, which are typically slower. They can take a while and a lot of hustle. There's more leverage and automated and everything in between. So super hands-off would be more Facebook ads, where you're actually just turning on an ad and the ad is serving it. The Facebook Meta is serving it up to people who like your stuff, right? Hopefully, right? They're interested in what you have to offer if you do it right. So that would be very leveraged, and you can turn up your ads fairly quickly and get a lot more traffic in a short amount of time. Our vertical video boot camp that we've got tonight, Rafia, if you're not doing it, you should go do it with us. It's going to be awesome. Type in TikTok and I'll get you the link. You can check it out. But we kick off at 7, and this is about creating momentum with vertical video. So short form vertical video. So we're talking about TikToks, Reels, Shorts, that type of content. If I had to start over today and I had no email list and I had no anything, I had no audience anywhere, where would I spend my time? I would spend my time on TikTok because it has much bigger growth potential than other platforms. So I would highly suggest, if you are going to do an organic traffic strategy, short form vertical video is a very powerful tool that can serve you up into new and newer people all the time. I don't think that made sense, but you get what I mean. More and more people all the time that they can be introduced to you. And if you do it well, if you do it right, they're getting drawn into you. You're generating a lead, you're nurture qualifying, moving them through to a sale. So you can do this with organic content. You can do it paid. You can do it Facebook or podcast guesting. If you're a guest on somebody's podcast, that should generate some leads for you, right? As long as they really have an audience that they're sharing the content to, there's a potential to if you do a good job on the podcast, you tell stories, you get people to know, like, and trust you, and you offer a great freebie on that podcast that they can opt in for. Great. Now, when you've done that, you've generated a lead, and now your sales system can kind of take over from there. So you see, all of these things have to work together. If you are living off of referrals, or you're living off of your warm market, or any of that stuff, it's really hard to have consistent sales coming through. But when you put all three of these elements, your messaging, your systems to sell, and traffic, when all three work together, that's how you can consistently, reliably generate revenue in your business and build something long-term. Start to scale, build out your team, have the confidence to quit your job and go all in your business. Don't do that until you have these things in place and working correctly, or you're going to get stuck in that icky place of not knowing what to do, not knowing how to fix it, and not having the money to pay for someone to help you to do so. So, you got to set this up right from the beginning, get the help that you need. If you want to check out the TikTok challenge, our TikTok, it's our 4-week vertical video boot camp. I'm really excited about it. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm pumped. This was like sitting down. Okay, if I'm going to sit and I'm going to take the time to really up my own personal game when it comes to TikTok, because I've done it a lot in the past, and I've also interviewed countless people who are crushing it with short form vertical video And they gave us all the massive tips and insights. So I took all of that, plus our personal experience and the 8 years in this business, put it all together and created this beautiful, wonderful, awesome 4-week boot camp that kicks off tonight. And we'll be teaching how to create the content, where to come up with ideas, how to create really good content that's going to actually get in front of new people, a content strategy on how to mix in the different types of videos, and then how to actually use it to convert people into sales or leads and then sales, right? So all kinds of good stuff. If you want to check that out, go ahead and type TikTok. And if you're on YouTube, Mr. Muhammad, there's actually a link in the description. So you can actually head to the description right now and get into it. Otherwise, you got to give me a couple minutes until I'm off the live and I got to reply to your comments. And then hopefully you can click on links that are sent in YouTube comments, I think, right? It's been a while. I got to check. But I'm excited. We're kicking everything off in almost an hour. So in about an hour's time, we're going to grab it. So grab access if you guys haven't yet. We're going to have a lot of fun. You get to work hand in hand with me, 2 live sessions a week, plus a bunch of interaction in the Facebook group. This is a beta program. So it is high touch, lots of fun, and we're gonna crush it and really help people create some massive momentum. This is not for people who just want to learn. This is for people who actually want to implement and make things happen. Okay, so if you're ready to implement, you're ready to start creating some actual momentum with your content, that is what the bootcamp is for. So type in TikTok, we'll chat, and we will see you in an hour. So super excited, guys. Have a blessed night. If you're catching the replay, but you want to check out the Vertical Video Bootcamp still, comment anyway. I will let you know. We will have replays if you missed the kickoff night. You still got a chance to learn and do some really cool stuff. So have a blessed week, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you soon. Bye.